We're back, and let's do some more police business. And I've been joined in studio by the Acting Director General of the Ghana Police Services Public Affairs Directorate, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Kwesi Ofori. I've been mentioning his name for the first 2 hours of the show, but he's here physically. So, ACP, thank you for joining us in studio.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pretty bizarre week for the Ghana Police Service and the work you do with what has happened in Takoradi. Can you bring us up to speed on that situation?
Thank you very much. Regarding the Takoradi incident, the lady, that is Josephine Penny Mensah, has confessed to the police that it was a figment of her own imagination and that she was not kidnapped nor even pregnant, let alone giving birth. She said this in the presence of an independent witness, in the presence of her mom and husband. And now she is in custody, but the police will be looking at what steps to take today and come Monday.
Has any form of medical help been provided her while she's in
Yes, the police service, being professional, provided her a lot of service. One, we dispatched an assistant commissioner of police who is a clinical psychologist, to offer her help, and that was done. Later, the head of psychiatry police hospital, as I speak, is in Takoradi, who also offered her a lot of assistance. And looking at, we taking her to the Azim government hospital, taking her to the European hospital, and later for a second opinion test at the Fiankwanta Regional Hospital. Attest to the fact that we've been so supportive in the so-called purported kidnapping and giving birth and baby being stolen, among others. The police rallied to a 40-member team, a search party, to crack down on the alleged kidnappers. And we did a lot of work, but thank God that we did a lot of public engagement too, and counting on the media also to broadcast, descriptions and the way the lady looks, and a member of public chance upon her at Azim informed the police. And now here we are. It happened to be an untrue story, but we've done our part. I think we were engineered, to go into work, and we did that to perfection.
On the matter of those involved, what updates can you give us? Is she currently the only person you are looking at, or there are others? We were informed of the arrest of 3 other suspects.
Based on her confession statement, we're looking at her at the moment. Others that we initially, picked on, we might be looking at it based on evidence that might be adduced from today up to Monday. Then we might, perhaps leave them off the hook and center on the actual person who designed those machinations.
So her mother is also not in detention, just to be clear? From
her account, she said she did it alone, just to satisfy the husband. The husband, it's a pure family marriage issue that she wanted to portray that she's pregnant.
Okay.
And did all those things to the admiration of her husband. And when the time came to give birth, she decided also to use the scheme which she plotted, and which also allowed police to come in, because the husband was no more seeing her wife and decided to go to the police station to report. And looking at all these factors, that led us to where we are. And thank God she had been truthful, have confessed in the presence of her husband and mom, and the police may initiate an action from Monday thereabout.
Are you worried by the still divisive public opinion on the outcomes that the police have put forward so far?
One thing that we would like to say, that the public should trust their police. This is a young and upcoming lady. The police will not do anything to frustrate her. The police will not do anything to degrade her being. And talking about one stating among others that she has given birth, and you go in for an expert opinion based on law. a competent medical officer, for that matter, and a team of experts coming out with a result. For it to be disputed by somebody who has no knowledge about that is a bit worrying. But no matter how, we are in a democratic state. People have their views. People can agree to disagree. But at the end of the day, we believe that the experts have done a good job, and we salute them all.
Let's talk about another concern you raised in your initial release about the occurrence of what has become, in your estimation, false cases of kidnapping in the western region in particular, or in Takoradi to be specific?
In Takoradi in particular.
What's the situation with that? Why? How do you come to that? How do you come by that conclusion?
Oh, due to available records known to police, there have been instances of such allegations, such reports, which perhaps did not come to the public domain. Mm-hmm. The police treated it with all the force and assistance that it needs, and it turned out to be false. So in view of that, a technical team has been sent to the Western region to assist them unravel all those false claims so that we deal with it.
But you give the assurance that every report is giving initial serious treatment before a conclusion is made that it's false.
For that matter, yes. Look at this lady. Look at a 40-member search party that have been thrown out to look for her. Look at the investment made in the area of public announcement, and even the media. You did it free of charge, but it's still, it can be quantified money-wise.
Yeah.
And look at an expert, a clinical psychologist, and assistant commissioner of police being detailed to go to Takoradi to work on her, the transportation, the risks and all that to the place. And look at a head of psychiatry, police hospital, also moving in. And look at the assistant giving her at the Axim Government Hospital in terms of admission. Our personnel being there, to protect her. To the European hospital where she claims she's been attending an antenatal clinic. And that place also turned to be false. The last time she appeared at that hospital was October 2020. Then again, the disagreement from the family. We have to go in for a second opinion. And that second opinion, we have to go to Efiankwanta Regional Hospital. And all the time is money, resources, and when you quantify all this, it's a big thing. So I believe that the police, we've done creditably well, but we would like also to caution members of the public not to go into such dangerous place. It does not pay. We need to be very serious and do what is right.
The second phase is, again, you're on the front page of the newspaper today. These robberies that seem to be occurring quite frequently these days. What action is the police taking outside of the bounty that you have offered for information?
Apart from the bounty, the acting Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, yesterday summoned the regional commanders of Accra region and that of Tema, including all divisional commanders in those regions. And we had a lengthy discussion mapping out strategies to contain the daylight robberies. And he has charged them to be up and doing and go all out, to get these daylight robbers. And as we stated, we are closing in on them, the intelligence aspect, the operational aspect, and he has also directed regional, divisional, and district commanders to make sure that the police financial centers, banking areas, make sure they have discussion with managers, people around the banks, for us to consolidate our positions in and around those areas, and also increase our capability of fighting these robbers who have no mercy on decent people in society. And the coming day, the coming times might tell its own story. the police should be out there. And we also encourage members of the public who knows much about their nefarious activities should report to the police. We are ready. They can call police on 1-8555-191 0302-773906. We encourage people to use these numbers, provide us information. The police is prepared to serve them. We are ready to work for the common good of society. But we promise Ghanaians that we will do whatever it takes to protect them, for them to live that prayer life, go about their duties without let or hindrance. But for the robbers, that one, should they cross our path next time round, police will do whatever it takes. Yesterday, we know what happened as that was also in the Ashanti region, where robbers went in to attack a businessman and 2 were killed. They were met in action, using guns and all that they have, but the police was able to protect that businessman. We stopped it, and 2 were killed in the action, and those who have run away, we are looking for them. Let us not forget, when it comes to these banking robberies, a lot of inroads also have been done by the police. Some few months ago, the Opebia area, where a businessman went to cash money, and these robbers trailed him. The intervention of police led to the death of 3, secured the money of the businessman, and that also, the one that also took place at Awudome, it's a banking facilities over there where police intervened, gunned some of them down and arrested others. All part of intervention that we will be making. We agree that what they did yesterday, what they did the last time, is a source of worry. But let me also make it clear that the lady, the bystander who was shot, at Abekan La Paz area, the police are assisting in taking good care of him. She is at a government hospital in Accra. The acting inspector general of police and some of members of his administration visited her, and resource-wise, they are doing every possible to assist so that she gets her health back.
I have 2.
Whilst targeting the criminals also.
2 questions. So we have daylight robberies, and then we have highway robberies, and then also circulation of arms, because these crimes are being done with all kinds of sophisticated arms. What's happening with that?
Yeah, regarding the sophisticated, and we all know what happened in West Africa in the last years, civil wars, communal conflict in some regions, among some countries, among others. And there was proliferation of arms in those countries, among others. And we're now seeing the effect on the entire sub-region, where small arms are flying from one place to the other. But thank God, the Immigration Service, the Customs Exercise and Prevention Service, the police, the armed forces, national security apparatus, they are all helping in the border area to control. They've been seizures, arrests, some also flow in through police operations. We seize them. But we want members of the public to be vigilant and provide us information on people who transact businesses in this illicit and illegal way of in dealing with the selling of guns, among others. We are working very hard, to make sure that we contain this matter. And we believe the media will give us their unflinching support in this regard, trying to sensitize members of the public through our public affairs infos, and the material that we bring in will be treated very well for the consumption of the general public.
And just to go back a bit on the matter of Josephine Pena-Mensah, you spoke about a confession. I'm assuming that this was done according to standard procedure, so she had, you said, it
was done according to what the law, evidence, and other laws, talk about the procedure, criminal procedure, and all that, according to our rules and regulations. And it was done with the presence of an independent witness. We even went further than the independent witness, bringing the mom, the husband, also to listen to this interrogation. For lawyer, it rests on the individual. For a lawyer, you can bring your lawyer, to be with you when you are being cautioned, and you have the right to bring your counsel to the place. But yesterday, the families were there and they had it themselves from her. No molestation, no intimidation, no one coerced her to speak the truth. It was a voluntary statement to the police.
All right, then. Thank you very much, ACP Kwesi Ofori, for passing to us all time will allow us. I hope you understand this update. Any final words?
My final word? One thing is that the Acting Inspector General of Police, Dr. Kufudan Parry, and members of the police administration would like to assure the general public that for these daylight robberies, they will fight it to the teeth, and that they are closing on the suspects, and that members of the public should rally behind the police, the media should rally behind us, and for us to work in concert.
Thank you very much. ACP Kwesi Ofori is the Acting Director General in charge of the Police Public Affairs. My name is Godfrey Akotobuaf. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Big Issue. Have a good weekend.